Now that RoboCop the movie has turned 35, there is a new trailer for a game coming out soon, which kind of looks a little wonky, but, you know, I can go with it. But I thought this provided me the perfect opportunity to talk about my top 5 RoboCop games.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Number 5 is RoboCop 3 for the Super Nintendo, but there was also a Sega Genesis version. Now, I find this game to be kind of hard, but you can get better with practice. Once you collect the P icon, you can switch to a triple shot, which is necessary to hit those drone things on the ground. And it's kind of annoying that the regular shot will miss those drone things even if you duck down. Also, if you get too close to an enemy, somehow the punching takes over and you just end up missing and taking a bunch of hits. That's also annoying. But hey, I really like the graphics. They're very detailed, but, you know, a little cartoony, but, you know, I can go with it. I also noticed that in typical fashion, the Super Nintendo version is kind of stretched, which makes RoboCop look fat. The Genesis version is basically the same thing, but it's a little less detailed. I feel like this could have been a really, really fun game if it wasn't so freaking hard. I can't even get very far in the game. Number 4 is RoboCop for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, I was kind of hoping this would be like the arcade, but it's really not. But what really gets me about this game is the shooting is really wonky when you duck. I mean, I just naturally press diagonally downward when I try to duck, and that also makes RoboCop shoot diagonally downward. But I never need to shoot down that direction, so it's kind of dumb. He should still be shooting forward, but ducking instead when I hit down and diagonal. This boss you have to punch, you can't shoot him, and that's not too hard at all. It has some pretty nice graphics, although the cutscenes are pretty cheesy, pretty hilarious. And I'm surprised Nintendo allowed the shooting and punching of dogs in this game. I don't know if that's cool. I don't think that's cool. The music is very repetitive in this game, and honestly, I think I'd rather just turn it off. Also, RoboCop seems to put his gun away at the most inopportune moments. I mean, I just want to shoot all these guys. I don't want to punch them. And then I got to this part here where this wall is attacking me, this spiked wall, and I couldn't seem to get any further than this. These walls just keep coming and I can't shoot them. All I can do is punch them. Number 3 is going to be RoboCop 2 for the arcade. You know, up until recently, I didn't even know that this game existed. And also, let me apologize for the loud and repetitive music. I couldn't get the emulator to lower just the music and not the sound effects. But hey, you know, this has got some really, really good graphics and some pretty fun gameplay. Although I do prefer these side-scrolling sections rather than that into-the-screen shooting. I just seem to take a lot of hits when I'm shooting into the screen. I have a little more control when I'm shooting sideways. The bosses are pretty tough if you just try to shoot them, and really the best way to defeat them is to punch them, but then you risk getting injured. So it's a risk and reward kind of situation. I like this part where you're walking through the arcade and they're throwing arcade machines at you, and they're all Data East arcade machines. Oh, there's some pinballs in the back there too. But what I really like is how RoboCop rides that motorcycle in the bonus stage. That looks so awesome. Overall, this game pretty much does its job as an arcade game. It's fun, and of course it's going to require a lot of quarters. Number 2 is going to be RoboCop vs. Terminator for the Sega Genesis, but there's also a Super Nintendo game which I've come to really appreciate, actually. The graphics and the sound and the music and the gameplay are just tuned absolutely perfectly in this game. There are some really cool weapons too, but I really just prefer to use RoboCop's main gun. That gun that shoots the tablets around is kind of weird, but cool at the same time. And I really love how the enemies explode in a shower of guts. That's just something that did not get through to the Nintendo version of the game. Now, I could gush about this game all day. It's so beautiful and fun, and the music is really good, but there's one thing I don't care for, and that's the maze-like stages. It can be challenging sometimes figuring out where you're supposed to go. And I like the scene where you're fighting against the Terminator and he just keeps getting up and up every time. It's pretty funny. There's also a version for the NES, which obviously the graphics aren't going to be nearly as good, but it's a fairly decent game too. RoboCop vs. Terminator comes highly, highly recommended, no matter whichever version that you can find. Definitely pick it up if you ever see it. And my number 1 RoboCop game, it's got to be the original arcade game.
RoboCop.
The only thing is I'm hoping that this game being number 1 on my list is not because of nostalgia. I mean, it was the first RoboCop game and I played it in the arcades and I just fell in love with it immediately. The graphics are really reminiscent of the movie, as are the sampled sounds of RoboCop himself. I really like that part where he says,
"Thank you for your cooperation."
Not only are the graphics and sounds really good, but it also does a pretty decent job of replicating the theme song. Now the bosses are not really from the movie, but they're kind of creative, I think. But I also like fighting that 2-pincher machine thing in the junkyard. I think that's a pretty creative boss. There is only one problem I can think of with this game, is the difficulty level is so hard that you're going to need a lot of credits. But, you know, again, it's an arcade game. That's what it was designed to do. Take your money. And unlike the RoboCop 2 game for the arcade, I really like the shooting into the screen sections here. It's just like a shooting gallery. You don't have to worry about getting attacked back, so the goal is just to try to get as many hits as possible. And it really reminds me of that scene from the movie where he's in the shooting gallery and everybody's coming over to look at him. Trying to get up to the final boss, as I said, is really, really difficult. You need a lot of credits. Sometimes I'd only last a few seconds and have to drop in another quarter. But besides the difficulty level maybe being toned down a bit, the only thing that I think could make this game better is if Dick Jones went flying out the window at the end. It's kind of unfortunate that you don't get to see that.
Thank you for your cooperation. Murphy.
Even still, I love this game, and it's always going to be my #1 RoboCop game. Alright, well, there you have it. That's my top 5 RoboCop games. Did I forget to mention your favorite game? If so, tell me down in the comments. I thank you for watching, take care, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you for your cooperation.